In this video, we're going to talk about syncopation. More importantly, syncopated rhythms. Hey, it's Tobey here from JazzMentl.com. Thank you for joining me for another one of my tutorials. This video is super important because it's really going to help you with your feel. That's what syncopation is all about. What does syncopation mean? Essentially, it means putting the accents on the offbeats, whether that's 2 and 4, the and of 2, or even when you put polyrhythms together, you put the accents in certain places that is essentially not normal. And this is really what's going to give you your feel. A lot of people ask me how to play swing. Swing in and of itself is a syncopated rhythm because the notes are uneven and you're putting the accents on the offbeats. One of the masters of syncopated rhythms was Dave Brubeck and his quartet. And so in this video, we're going to focus on his composition, Theme from Mr. Broadway. It is in 3/4 time. Take a look at your screen because right off the bat, we have syncopated rhythms in the bass line. And the reason why this is syncopated is not only the fact that it's swing rhythms, but also you're dividing the bar into 2. So this is like the first part of the bar and the second part of the bar. And this first part has 3/8 notes and the second part has 3/8 notes. And for your syncopation, you're going to put the accent on the second half of the bar or the and of 2, like this. I'm going to make this sheet music available a little bit later on by putting a link to it in the corner, so stick around for that. All right, let's get back to our syncopated rhythms. Now, while we've got that going on in the bass line, and the accent is on the first note of the second half of the bar if you're dividing the bar into 2 even sections. The melody is going to do exactly the same thing. It's going to put the accent on this note. The right hand is putting that accent on the first part of the second half of the bar. And then you've got more syncopated rhythms by putting bebop there and here, where the accent is on the second half of the beat. So bebop. And you're going to put the accent here on that second note. Now this part here is really just the answer to the call. So this is answer and this is call in this section. So this part here, the answer, is not really part of the actual melody. It's played by Dave Brubeck on the piano when Paul Desmond plays the melody on the saxophone. So this is the Paul Desmond part. And then Dave Brubeck follows it up with the answer. Okay? So that's not the easiest thing to do. I can tell you that if you do get that under your fingers and you practice this as many times as it takes, it's going to help you a lot with syncopated rhythms because the entire thing is syncopation. Putting those 2 hands together, just the very fact that you can do that means that you're mastering the art of syncopation. Let's take a look at other syncopated areas of this tune. Moving on, we're getting into the second 8 bars where you've got this A minor chord. Now, of course, that's the call here, and then you've got your answer over here. Now, the interesting thing about this is you're really still dividing the bar into 2, but the accents are in different places. So this is a phrase here, and this is a phrase here, which takes up the whole bar, but still the accents are in weird places. which is on the first part of the second half of the bar, or the and of 2. And of course, we've had that bebop before. Bebop. Then we've got some interesting syncopation going on here, where we've got 5 notes instead of 3 or instead of 4. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's interesting that the accent is in the same place in the bass, so it kind of helps you with your playing a little bit. Cool. Now, if you stuck around to this part, this is the really fun part. This is where we get what we call polyrhythms. So polyrhythms is where you've got one time signature over top of another. In this particular case, what we're going to have is 4 beats over 3. So this is 1, beat 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then it repeats again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see you've got 4 beats over 3 beats. So this is 3 bars of 4 over 4 bars of 3. And it's a really cool sound. They play it more straight eighth notes on the album. So you can hear that clearly it's 4 beats. So the accent is really on 1 here of each of the 4 beats. But you've still got that left-hand bass going on. So once you get that together, you're going to be a master of syncopation. The syncopation on these last 4 bars is really interesting because you've got 4 beats over 3. This is beat 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then you've got this rest here. And then beat 1, 2, 3, 4, another rest, and then beat 1, 2, 3, and 4. So again, it's like the previous section up here, it's just doing it a little bit differently because the bass note changes from this to just chords. It's a 1, 6, 2, 5. So you got E flat minor to C7 to F half diminished 7 to B flat 7 flat 9. Like this. Now, whatever you do with the bass line there is really up to you. It's important just to keep the melody going and figure out different ways of playing that bass line. But the melody's this. Interestingly enough, even though it's 4 beats, the accent is still going to be on the and of 2. What a cool sound. So with the previous section like this, all right, let's just do a quick review. The first part was the bass line with that syncopated rhythm, the accent being on the and of 2. Adding to that the right hand, you get this. Call and answer. And then we get to the A flat minor, which is the same type of rhythm with the accent being in the same place. Coincides with the bass line. And then this really cool section here. Accents in the same place. And then you've got 3 bars of 4 in the melody line and 4 bars of 3 in the bass line. And then the same thing for the last 4 bars. Put it all together and you get this. And then once you get really good at that, keep that bass line going and then try to do some soloing over top, making sure that the accent is still on the and of 2. All right, so there you have it. That's the whole concept of syncopation and syncopated rhythms. I hope you got a lot out of that. If you liked the video, give it a quick thumbs up. And if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, we'd love to have you. Okay, let me put a link to the sheet music that I talked about earlier, the sheet music that we've been working on in this video. I'm going to put that link up here in the corner. You can go and download that. And if you're looking for other types of polyrhythms, it's a good idea to explore odd time signatures. So let me put a link to a tutorial that we did on Dave Brubeck's Take 5.